All right, now I'm not the greatest archer of all time, but I do practice a lot and I do see a lot of things. So here are 3 archery tips that have helped me progress over the years. Let's get into it. All right, so the first tip I have for you guys is to stop punching your triggers. And I know you guys have heard it before, but I'm just here to remind you because this is a struggle I went through when I was first starting archery. And I could do it good on a target, but whenever I would get over a live animal, all I would do is just smack. I would smack that trigger and rip it off the back of my bow. Now, in order to have a good shot with the trigger, you're gonna wanna keep pressure on that string, making sure it's not gonna creep forward. You're pulling back. Then once you're over your target and you're ready to shoot, you rest your finger on that trigger and you add pressure on that trigger, you push on that trigger, and you pull back on that string, all in one motion. Push, 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 pull, 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 and off. It should be relatively a surprise. You should know when it's gonna happen. It should just go off and surprise you. When you anticipate that shot, that's when you start to get flinchy. That's when you start to miss because you're getting nervous about when that bow is going to go off, and then when it does, you pop. Now, the next tip I have that's mostly for new archers, but it's still valuable for everyone, is to stop death gripping the bow. As you can see, when you put a death grip on the bow, all it's going to do is tense your arm up and have that bow flinch. Another example of this, look at this from a different angle, is when you're at full draw and you got a death grip on that bow, it's easy to torque that bow left and right with your hand. So when you let that string go, all it's gonna do is throw that arrow the wrong way. It's not gonna fly true, it's not gonna be straight on. And the way I hold my bow, which is generally accepted as the correct way, is with an open hand. So you leave your hand open and you let your bow just fall in between your index and your thumb. And when you got that string at full draw, most of the bow's weight is gonna be locked in to the crease of your hand here. It's just gonna be locked in with that back tension of you holding that bow to you. Even if I go like this, the only wiggle is from my arm. When I open my hand, it just sets in and locks. Now, the last tip I have for you guys is practice good draw form. Now, I know everyone draws their bow a little different, and there's no right way to do it, but there's definitely a wrong way to do it. Now, when I draw my bow, I rely on my back and my lat. I don't rely on my shoulders and my biceps. What I do is I put the bow out in front of me like this. I'm stretching my lat out on the back here, and I'm putting my other arm forward to create leverage. And then I'm opening my back up like this, pulling back, and I'm pulling with my lat back. My shoulders aren't being used, my biceps aren't being used. So this is what my draw cycle looks like. Forward, leverage, pull, open back, and you use your lat, and there it is. It's perfectly forward. If you like this kind of stuff, please consider subscribing.